everyone. Welcome to the My WHIM Life show. I am Wendy Alexander, and this week's guest, we have Misty Mendenhall. We're finally able to do some in-person interviews, and Misty was up for that. So I am super excited to have her in the studio with me today. So Misty, tell everyone a little bit more about you.
Ooh, love that. Let's see. I am a native Arizonan, and I was born in Arizona and have been in Idaho for about 14 years. Moved here just as my 13-year-old got ready to start high school, and have been here. I met my sweetheart when I was 15.
Oh my gosh.
And then re-met him again just before I turned 18. And then we got married right after I graduated high school. So we've been together and married for 28 years.
Oh my gosh, that is such a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what made you want to come to Idaho from Arizona?
Well, my husband grew up in Emmett, Idaho. But when I discussed moving to Idaho, I said, I cannot move to Emmett. It's way too small. Phoenix to Emmett would be a culture shock in itself.
Of the highest order.
So we chose Boise, and so we have two children, and they are now 27 and 23.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that you have been kind of in the financial industry in some form or fashion for quite some time. Talk to me about that.
So 20 some odd years. Yeah. So I have been with, kind of coaching businesses in the finance kind of arena. I am mainly all things kind of cash flow. So my passion, even from a small child, was money.
Yeah.
So
it's a good passion to have.
my favorite thing was I had a great grandmother that would always give me money at Christmas, and I just loved money. Even though I did not realize how dirty money was until I actually became, further into the banking industry and found out how dirty money was. But but I mean, as far as it's not clean, that's all.
Literally
not clean. It's dirty. But
don't touch it.
Yeah. But it's still fun. It's still something that I've always loved. And then as I continued my studies, I found that it was really just vitally important to our communities and our business communities. So I wanted to see how I could be more involved in that area.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because as you talk about that, and because I know what you do, I can really see that connection and those two pieces coming together, because you help small businesses, well, maybe some large businesses as well, but I know you've spoken to me about some small businesses being able to facilitate that connection between the end consumer and their money piece so that they can keep as much as possible in their pocket, but still have effective systems in place so that the money doesn't get lost in the meantime.
Exactly. Yeah. So my company is called the Payment Experts.
Nice.
So we serve businesses of all sizes, from coast to coast, and in some countries, we've tapped into Australia and some in Canada so far. And we really just are serving them in all things related to from the time that they find a customer and they have their goods and services and they need to figure out a way to get paid.
Yeah.
So I handle all of those pieces and parts for them.
So I'm assuming that you do not only just like physical pieces as well as the online pieces and everything in between.
Online is huge, especially with the new environments, even more so. 20 years ago, a fax machine was vital.
Yeah.
10 years ago, a website was vital. Now it is, what else? Curbside services, contactless, mobile capabilities to be able to actually have the business have their own app on the App Store, because we all are carrying our smartphones, and websites take too long because we've all gotten too busy in whatever or we know that there's an easier way now.
Totally.
So we don't want them to just feel like somebody has to go to a web browser to then go to their purchasing power. An app, click, log in, capture information on your customer, let them have their own personal login with their finance information within that, and be able to order.
Right. And feel secure.
And feel secure and have it all capable. And then not only that, but then be able to expedite that transaction as quickly as possible, because then it communicates right back to the entity who is initiating the service.
Right, right. And then they can provide the products as quickly as they can to then make it all,
Make it all the magic happen.
all the magic happens.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I love that. So how did you get from what you felt your passion was to where you're running your own business? I mean, that's a huge leap.
So I have been with multiple entities and worked with multiple different entities, and I was kind of the school of just learn, capture more information, learn. I did not take the traditional path of college. I did a little. I'm an avid learner, but I take classes specifically for what I need to know. And so I never wanted to go for necessarily, it was not my decision to go for a degree.
Yeah.
So I picked careers and jobs that would go along with what I needed to learn. And then just about a year ago, I said, you know what? Both of my children are grown and out of the house, and I am ready to launch my real thing for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I went out and decided to do it. It's been a whirlwind. I knew 2020 was going to be a complete roller coaster ride. I knew it. I didn't know COVID was going to be part of it,
Right.
but I knew that my journey was going to be this. So I was completely psyched and ready for that, because that was what, I was launching my own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. I love that. What do you think is inside you that really gave you the courage to go, you know what? I know enough to make this viable on my own.
Oh, that is a good one. I think that for me, I have a certain kind of rule in my world, my own inner world, and that is to live the golden rule. And that to do unto others as I'd have done unto me. And to be able to actually be the CEO of my own entity and be able to not have to bounce that against somebody else's
Values.
or space. And I respect every single space that I've been in, and I've been able to learn and absorb and take that. And the golden rule just was taught to me by my grandmother, and it's just something that is so vitally important in everything I do. And I just am a human lover of all humans. And I just want to be able to help them if I can.
Sure.
And if I can't, then I would want somebody to tell me you're in a good spot and you're doing the right things.
Yeah.
Either way.
Absolutely. I love that. So as an entrepreneur, you no longer have a boss that you are accountable to, where you go into work and have to be there at a certain time and complete these projects. How do you hold yourself and your team accountable and stay on track?
That is definitely something that when you love what you do, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
And that's something that I have found that, has always been kind of part of my thing. I guess my husband would say I'm a workaholic, but I'm a solving kind of approach. So accountability, I have my calendar. I have different tools that I've put in place, but when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't necessarily have that innate drive, what are some of the tools that you use or that you suggest your team uses to stay on track?
Well, we do twice a week. We do twice a week coaching. We work on combination of trainings of our industry, and then we also have one of those focused on just mindset.
Awesome.
And you know, I've spent a lot of years kind of learning my trade, so to speak, and then being able to coach through that process and helping them. It's been very helpful, and kind of just, it's another little jewel that I didn't realize that the business would give me. But it's those hidden little jewels that I just cherish every single day.
Yeah. I know coaching has been, I've had a coach for years and years and years and never really thought, that was something that was for me, except I was doing it all the time for people. And I had a wonderful friend that said, do you know that people pay for this?
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, good idea. And from that, I started my coaching business, which I've been doing for 4 years, in addition to real estate
All the
and
other things.
Yeah. And now I'm working on my real estate team and really building up other new agents to create a life that they dream of, which I think is just such a fascinating thing to watch.
Well, and that's the thing that, so like my industry has a tendency to just have a really low bar of service. And to be able to educate and help them be able to be the good humans that will not go in for the quick sell and ding dong and ditch and leave them hanging. This is people's livelihoods. And their trust is so vital and so important. And that, people say in our industry, in my specific industry, that, if you just answer your phone, you're better than anybody else. And that's like, wow, that's a really low bar. So I think that's, coaching those individuals to kind of understand that, they're working with somebody's money. And their livelihood. And it's their kids, it's their mortgages. It is their employees being able to have a paycheck. All of these different things. Once we kind of help them see all of that, then it makes them want to find even more to be able to serve. I love that. Do you have a specific things that you do with your team, like team building activities, to really kind of keep that culture together? We're evolving. We have a really big goal, and once we get there, then we want to take a big trip. What we're kind of working on, where we want to go, and all of these types of things. But really, just I try to take them down dream sessions. Because we as adults, for some reason, have gotten to the stage where we forget to dream.
I agree.
And having that childlike ability to have a dream and then put it into action, it just is fun to dream. It's fun to be able to take that but dream vivid, not teeny tiny little things, but very detailed, very detailed out. So my partner and I do dream sessions a lot to just talk through where we want to go and where we want to help the actual individual team members.
So looking at that, what are your visions for 2021 and beyond?
We are going to plan on taking the entire team we're picking whether it's going to be an island or something, and we're just going to just be able to just follow through with everything. Whether it's an island, we have an island picked out, and then we have one that's in Europe in a castle. So it's like we haven't decided. I'm the castle, and he's the
I want a beach.
He's the want a beach type of thing. So he wanted Vegas at one time, and I talked him out of that. So.
You're like, we could go to Vegas anytime.
I'm like, Vegas is not a dream. No, Vegas is a dream. I'm not bashing on Vegas, casinos, yay.
Right. I've been there 9 times. It gets old after a while.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, we should go to Vegas. And I was like, everybody goes to Vegas. That's not big.
Yeah, let's pass on that. That's for a convention or whatever. If we ever get back to doing
If we ever get
conventions
to do this type of
or
thing,
whatever.
it's like,
I know.
But yeah, so just we're gonna just do something that will allow them to come and just be.
Yeah.
And because we are so always moving, we have such an involved thing where we'll be able to get somewhere that we can disconnect.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's super, super important. I love that culture and building that team camaraderie is really important for your business, because I think those businesses that don't incorporate those pieces are really missing some opportunities for even better productivity from their teams, because you have to have both. You have to have the downtime and the go time. It's doesn't, they don't come in equal parts for any of us.
Well, and
but
and somebody's like, oh, what about work-life balance? I was like, you know what, it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, there's balance in all things.
Yes.
But the work-life balance doesn't. I mean, you're gonna balance your structure.
Yeah, I always say work-life balance, or balance in your life at all, really comes at an individual level, because my idea of what work-life balance is, or whatever kind of balance is very different. I take into consideration, my nutrition and health, my spiritual balance, as well as work and career and financial, like all of those things, I think have a very different piece to them that are all required for balance. So 100%. When you just nail it down to work life, I don't think that necessarily works.
Does that
either.
exist? Well, and not only that, but those balances change consistently.
Yeah,
because we are very fluid humans.
Absolutely.
I mean, and just even when I reflect back on just a few years ago, I still had kids at home.
Yeah.
I mean, and just the flow.
Yeah. And your balance back then was very different than what it is now.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So
I love that. So if you were going to give an entrepreneur one piece of advice, what would that be?
I would say to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And also that the fear, lean into it. There's goodness there. And failure is part of the process. Failure is actually success, because that means that you're trying.
Yeah.
And that means that you are learning what needs to not happen.
I agree.
And there's going to be, in entrepreneur life, there will be a great deal of failure before success.
Oh, yeah.
And success, then, it's just constantly, if you're staying in the success mode nonstop, then you're not really trying anything new.
Right.
That's going to possibly grow you.
Yeah.
So lean into that, and then you have everything within you, and to take advantage of your superpower, which is your natural talents.
Yeah.
Take that time to really, and whether you can't see them and you need to ask somebody, take a few things. Close people, ask them what they see your natural talents, and the people that you don't know.
Yeah.
That have interacted with you, but that you don't know as well.
Yeah.
And let them tell you what your talents, or what they view your natural talents are.
Yeah. And then listen. Yeah. Actually
pour
trust
into it,
what they have to
accept
say.
it, receive it, the receiving of those natural talents, and then the release of the natural talents.
Yeah.
I would say there's sweetness in there, and your superpowers are those talents. And they may not be visible.
Yeah.
They may not be the things that, you can naturally, go out there and, do the belting out of the national anthem, you know.
It's definitely not my time.
But there might be the things that you're just naturally intuitive, or you're naturally able to have that sense of understanding, or whatever it may be.
Sure.
And just really use those, because they are something that is uniquely yours.
Yeah.
And an entrepreneur is uniquely that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So tell everyone where and how we can reach you.
So you can reach me at thepaymentexperts.com. We have our website live. We have all of our agents on there. And then you can also reach me here locally at 208-914-1546.
Perfect, perfect. And my last question.
Sure.
How do you give back?
How do I give back? Gonna go back to doing unto others as I would have done unto you, the golden rule. Mm-hmm. And to just know that the community is there for a reason.
Yeah.
The business community specifically is the pulse of the entire process.
Yeah.
So, and they are the livelihood of all the area.
Yeah.
So take into that and just give back and be there. Our company has a huge passion for the children. Okay. So we are advocates for children. So
that's awesome.
Whatever it may be, we're there to be able to help them.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in to join me today.
Aww.
It was so nice to see a person.
Yes, right.
A person.
Yay. Yes, together.
Right. Yes, live. It's awesome. I'm so glad that we are able to connect. And I am thrilled to be able to share you with my little corner of the world.
That's awesome. I appreciate you so much.
And thank all of you for watching the My WHIM Life show, where we are using other entrepreneurs' wisdom, humor, inspiration, and motivation to help you go after the life you dream of. Till next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.